Welcome to the Underdogs podcast. Strap yourselves in for 1 hour of unrivaled audio entertainment. Featuring HopCat.
Whereback department, I'd like to file a massive claim.
Little Z.
Jordan was right. Pizza in Italy, not as good as you might think.
Pocket 1.
Wait now?
Yeah, go.
Hello, Jordan here.
Nice. That's
And Director Cogger.
And back to me. We're better. Jordan and I are better than these two have been around the world. So congratulations to us. And that's about all we'll talk about, really.
Yeah, we can finally be quiet now.
It's time for a rest, Jordan.
No, how are you guys better?
we steered the ship. We had a podcast called Better. Did you see?
Oh, no. Didn't
Yes,
listen
you
to any
did.
of it.
It was very good, actually. I guess before we get into the holidays, yeah, we had the better
Critical
podcast.
acclaim.
It was huge.
It was
Massive.
big. Diary of a Wimpy Kid, Bible, gym. What else do we talk about? Quick, rattle them off.
We talked about
Running? Mindfulness?
not eating so
Running,
much, running,
mindfulness, eating
We
everything.
tried everything, really, honestly.
We pretty much
Meditating.
fixed the world, and now we're back to do this.
And what's
Massive downgrade.
It's like Jesus coming back to just
Yeah.
like hang out with the disciples again.
Disciples. And you are our disciples.
And I know about that because I read one bit of the Bible.
Jordan read an excerpt of the Bible, which was maybe the best. If you're going to listen to one episode of Better,
That one.
go
No.
listen to that one.
Don't listen to all the episodes.
No, but if you've got to listen,
if
it's
you're
like an
gonna listen to it.
yeah. Coding.
And that'll get you hooked, and then you'll want to
and
listen.
what was
to it.
what
And
was
the whole
the best
US.
thing that either of you did? In,
What did
in the
we
whole
decide?
thing, what was the number
Well,
one
I think
thing?
just the main thing is at that time I kind of started going to the gym. That's been good.
Yeah, Jordan and I would record that the podcast and then go to the gym together every Tuesday. We rocked.
That was pretty dope.
You guys are looking jacked.
Yeah, we're looking handsome.
Do you
jacked,
feel better?
So much
Like,
better.
does anything you did still pop up?
I think I learnt that all of it's good. Make the time is the actual hard
That's
part.
a good answer.
Like,
but
honestly, everything you think's going to be good and
It's good.
is good. It's really not that hard.
We had to start doing separate things because we would do the same thing and it would I'd be like whatever it was, yoga or something. I'd be like, yeah, the yoga was great. Jack's like, yeah, the yoga was great. It was like,
On
yeah.
day one, I felt better. Day two, better again.
So then we started competing two different things. For example, Diary of a Wimpy Kid versus the Bible.
Yeah.
Which one will make you a better person?
I reckon the Bible came out
I
on
reckon
top.
Diary of a Wimpy Kid taught me a few lessons.
It's a big debate. Have to go check it out.
But like, what do you still do? I think is what I want to know. How did for the long term?
Well, ironically, the two things that we do now, we both didn't cover in the pod. I now do swimming a lot,
Oh, that's sick.
and you do cycling.
Yeah.
That's
no, 'cause
so
I was
shit.
doing
That's
jogging.
not sick.
What
But
is wrong with cycling?
It came about from.
I do it at home on my exercise bike.
Defeats the whole purpose. You realize you're not going anywhere, right?
I do, no, but it's cardio.
No, but what if you just stopped using your car, took the time you cycled, added that onto your trips, and then now you're saving petrol, you're outside, you're seeing stuff, and you're cycling?
I agree, but I would not be here at 8. I would be like,
And
I'd
Jordan
be
doesn't go
riding
anywhere.
in.
You forget this.
I come to here and the gym now.
Jordan
So it's 2
stays
places. And jiu-jitsu. 3.
Jordan goes to more things than you.
That's not true.
That's 3 places.
Is that
But
true?
you don't want
The
to cycle
gym
to
here,
the gym.
you do
That'll-
those.
Kills your gains.
You cycle to the gym,
Don't
you're
do
like, oh, well,
that.
time to go home. I'm exhausted now. No, the other thing that was really good that we figured out about was, at least for me, I learnt about my podcast addiction.
Oh yeah, Jordan.
But
had a
guys, keep it up
breakthrough.
if you're watching at home.
No, seriously, go on. I'm actually
Great
curious.
advertising.
Okay. So I only listened to music for a week. Jackson only listened to podcasts for a week.
Yeah.
And we both found it equally as horrible and hard as each other. I'm like, I just want to listen to people talk. And I didn't realize how much dopamine I was getting from like listening to podcasts. And like, we just both realized like we both never really take too much time to just like chill and like listen to our own thoughts.
Do nothing, which I used to do a lot of, and then I stopped. It's a good thing for you.
So yeah, that's been something I've kept up of since the Better Podcast. Right now, I only like listen to music and podcasts like after 4 p.m. I don't listen to anything before.
We can bleep this out. I fucking hate podcasts. I reckon they're such a waste of time. Anyway,
No, that's you're not the one. You're the one making it. You're not the
Yeah,
one making
So
yeah.
we don't bleep the podcast.
it. That's totally fine.
you can't have that on this.
It's bad advertisement.
bad advertising.
Imagine that, like a jelly bean company, like jelly beans are really bad for you
Yeah,
guys.
yeah.
Stop. I guess cigarettes do that, but they're still taken
Do you
off.
reckon the like McDonald's CEO eats it much? Probably not.
Yeah, because you would know what's in it.
Well, you can look up what's in it. I know what's in it.
But he really knows.
Jordan, just because you don't know doesn't mean the rest of the world doesn't know.
I
So
don't
you're
know. Do
saying
you know
that,
what's
like-
in it?
Yeah.
What?
Food.
Okay, he knows equally as much as you.
What do you want me to say?
Yeah, you don't use like disgusting veggie oil and shit.
Yeah, I don't know. They've got secrets going on.
Oh, okay.
Yeah,
Yeah, 11 secrets.
Which the CEO knows about.
Right. Okay.
These are things we learn about, Peter. We learn how to research better.
Sorry, my bad.
Which the podcast is going to be dramatically different now as a result.
I've been
So
out.
educational.
Yeah.
I've been out wasting my time while you guys have been learning here, and so that's my bad.
Yeah, anyways, enough of our stories. What have you guys been up to?
Should we
No, not
say
much. What
where
about you?
we've been?
Yeah.
You can start.
Oh, okay. It's really hard because I went to a lot of countries. So I feel like if you're from any of the countries I list, you will probably be interested. So I want to say, like, I think about everywhere I went just a little bit,
Oh, a snippet.
but
Ooh, I like that.
maybe we'll get to that afterwards. But general overview, I started in Canada. I did a U shape through the US. If you can picture, I'll try to do a mirror one for the camera. All right, watch this. If you got the video on.
Otherwise, I'll describe it.
BC,
Okay.
west side of Canada.
Yeah.
U-shaped, California, Texas,
Yeah.
Florida. Road trip up to New York, then a little bit further to Rhode Island, then back into Canada. Now on the east side, across the ocean to Europe. Then we UK, so Scotland, England, into the mainland.
There's actually a map over there.
Oh, there's a map.
There is a
There's
map.
a world map. Holy shit. Yeah, that might be
And
useful.
then a
Also,
whole
should we
bunch
get the
of Western
Patreon chat
Europe.
on the screen?
Why the fuck do I have a world map anyway?
It was from the escape
from
room.
the escape
that
room
has
video.
never come out.
That, yeah.
Does that not come out?
No. Underdogs escape room, which I spent lots of time organizing, and we had lots of fun doing it.
That was good.
Something went wrong with the record. You were about to sit on your headphones, Jackson. Something went awry with the recording, if I recall correctly. But
Fab.
good thing everyone just had a fun time on the day. It's just like I organized an escape room for my buddies.
It's kind of cute.
It was
and
fun.
then I was in then
I'll hold this map for people
Western
that are
Europe.
watching.
Then we
The
went.
no.
Holy shit! This is not going to help. This is not
Audio
helpful.
listeners, we've got a map and it's not helping at all.
Countries. It doesn't have any of the names of the countries on it.
Europe is so small on
You have
this
to-
map.
Tell me what
Trini,
country and I'll
awesome.
tell you what number it is, and then we'd be able to find it. Actually, that doesn't help at all, does it?
Okay, well, I'm
Underdogs
just gonna. This
podcast
is the
back
worst
in
bit.
full swing.
This sucks.
This is all. No, get rid of the map, Peter. Just keep talking.
Did you go to Liberia?
no.
Damn. All right, never mind.
They went to Netherlands, Belgium, France, Switzerland, Greece, Italy.
Oh yeah.
Oh, I'm missing some because I went to so many. Europe. We Europed. It's tiny. You catch the train, you're in another country. I Europed.
Yeah, Europe's cool.
And then I went to the Philippines and I came home.
I feel like Europe for a Perth person's like, what the hell?
Yeah, what the fuck? Well, okay, so look, context. Perth is the most isolated city with over 1 million people in the world.
Oh.
It's
So-
also a really modern city, which I feel like is another thing that makes us quite different. I think.
You think?
Like,
No, as in
yeah.
it's been discovered recently, like built recently. Whereas Europe's like has old architecture.
Yeah.
Oh, right.
It's like there's
right,
nothing
right.
in Perth older than maybe like 200 years. Like
Yeah.
no buildings. Whereas like over in Europe, there's a bunch of fucking castles and like old gates and ancient
Yeah, that's weird.
buildings. Yeah.
Yeah, it's like a random house you walk by that's like older than your entire city. You're like, oh, okay.
Yeah.
Well, there's a few of those. But yeah. And it's just because we're so isolated that the fact that you can just go somewhere and you're somewhere
Yeah.
is quite
I remember
fascinating.
finding that weird. Like you get like a 2-hour train and you're in like a different country.
Yeah.
Whereas like here we get a 5-hour flight and we're in Melbourne.
Finally, the next city.
Yeah.
I feel like that's maybe the only thing I hate about Perth.
Yeah. I
It's
think
just we're
that's-
so far.
yeah.
Everything else is like 10 out of 10.
How's Perth now for you guys?
Great.
What's the Perth review post travel?
Okay, this is gonna sound like like a shit thing to say, like full of ourselves as a Perth person. But like everywhere I went, I was like, this is like fantastic to visit. Didn't go anywhere where I was like, I would rather live here than Perth.
Yeah.
That's
Which
awesome.
Which is pretty good news for Perth fans.
Yeah, that's great for me.
What about you, Peter?
I think that I wouldn't say I felt the same way. I think maybe like long term, if I was going to have a family or something, I would want to be here.
Yeah.
But like, let's say just like live. There's more interesting places for while you're young, in my opinion.
Yeah.
So like, if I was going to spend like, let's say 6 months or a year somewhere, like I could absolutely, if I had the money and the means, do that in like New York.
Yeah.
That'd be fucking awesome for 6 months.
Yeah.
But to like settle down permanently, I probably wouldn't imagine anywhere else. But with that said, I know that maybe after a year of living somewhere, maybe I would want to settle down there because that's now
Yeah, I
comfortable.
suppose you get used to it. Right?
Yeah, you get used to it. So Yeah. What the?
We've been doing a lot since you've been away. No, that's a lie. Stop
Talking
that.
about starting a family. And then Jackson puts his hand on Jordan's thigh for the audio
We need
listeners.
HR here. The Underdogs.
Is that HR or is it?
Is it?
Yeah, it is.
I don't know.
Yeah,
I've
we
never had a
might-
real job.
Who
Who's
would
go
we
straight to
file it
police?
to?
Yeah, I've kissed Jordan like 3 times. That is not above board.
Um,
And a few times in videos too.
Oh yeah.
right. So Zach, where did you go?
I'll quickly say where I went. I did Europe as well. And I did Greece, Amsterdam, Belgium, Croatia, Italy, Switzerland, France, Iceland, Norway, Sweden, UK, Germany. In
Wow.
that order. And
Wow,
I was
wow,
away
wow.
for 4 months and you're away for 9?
Eight. But
8 months.
4 of my months were in North America, so we did like the same length Europe trip, basically.
Yeah.
The kind of same time. We met in Amsterdam briefly, and then we kind of were going in opposite directions because we'd already planned it.
Yeah.
And we kind of...
Did you guys dap each other?
Yeah, we did.
That's sick.
Nice.
In
Dapping
Amsterdam, few dabs were happening in Amsterdam, no doubt.
Nice.
Thanks,
Respect.
man.
That's actually sick.
Thanks, man.
People were saying about the Better podcast when we get back, we should do a last episode of Better, which is kind of what this is about staying where you are and trying to work on yourself or going out and traveling to improve yourself.
Oh, that's a good comparison.
Oh,
what we've got
yeah.
here.
I like
How do you
that.
feel about that? What is your thoughts on how it changed you as a person?
Oh, that's a deep question.
That's a huge question.
Very big one.
We'll sit back, John.
Okay,
Like we said, we've done our part.
I feel like while people are thinking, I have something that I can say.
He's been out of the game too.
He hasn't gotten better. He hasn't gotten worse. I've gotten
He's gotten worse.
worse. They forgot English language.
Speaking
A
skills.
normal
down
person would
to
just
me.
say, I'll go first.
If it pleases the room, I'll speak next.
If I may.
That's
while
the year of
your
eloquency there.
easy brains, can you work this one
I
out?
like this, Zach. This is a good
Getting a bit more
personality.
posh.
No, I like it. It pleases me.
Why
Continue.
thou start insults? I shall.
Anyway,
Anyways.
spit it out.
So I was going to film YouTube videos when I was over in Europe, basically.
Yeah.
And then one thing I realized when after traveling a bit was that I had no motivation to like do the video ideas that I'd kind of planned. And I think it was because I just really needed a break of just not thinking about it at all.
Yeah.
And like not having like YouTube in the back of my mind. Because like, even though it's like a great job, it's like you're kind of thinking about it constantly because at least I am with this. And then I've been doing that for like 5 or 6 years. And it's like not that many chances to like turn off.
Yeah.
So I'm always
Yeah.
maybe like thinking of video ideas or like, I don't know, watching stuff to do with Smash or like, you know, going on Twitter and like everything is kind of related in a way.
Yeah.
So it's good to have like a big long break from that. And then I've come back, I think, with more motivation. But it did make me realize that I needed a bit of a break, which I think was
Do you
good
have
for me.
more direction?
I think so, yeah. Yeah, I think I've decided a bit more on what I want to do.
Yeah.
Based on like the latest, like I really enjoyed doing my Wii Sports videos, so I'm probably going to bring like a few more gaming videos in, and then like, I don't know, I think I need to be really sold on the ideas so that I don't get stuck doing projects that I like don't realize I'm not going to enjoy making.
Yeah, that makes sense.
There's so many things going on in my head. One, I guess, would be like, do you want to talk about the IRL channel or no? Are we not talking about
I think
that?
we should. Why not?
Okay.
Yeah.
That kind of just like leads me to the same point.
Thanks for
Yeah.
100,000 subs on the IRL channel.
Yeah.
Go!
Jordan?
We're not uploading anymore, are we? I've got the Dungeons and Dragons video still coming out.
You're like Ben in Parks and Rec where we just make you tell all the bad news.
Yeah.
I haven't seen it, but I'll be Ben.
Good reference. Yep, so Jordan?
Yeah, well, we want to stop posting on the IRL channel. It was just one of those things that, well, kind of like you were saying with your stuff, where I feel like we kind of got to the point on the IRL channel now where we're like, it's not as enjoyable as the podcast and the gaming channel, especially like for, I guess, the return we're getting on it as well.
Yeah.
I think we're spread too thin. And
Yeah.
like a lot of the stuff we wanted to do had run its course a little bit.
Yeah, that was the biggest thing for me. It was like before we made it, I was like, man, we were already making IRL videos on the gaming channel occasionally. Like we
Yeah.
did like
Yeah.
table tennis video, basketball video. These were on the gaming channel because that was just the Underdogs channel at the time.
Yeah.
And then we're like, we enjoy these a lot. Let's make this a weekly thing we do and focus our attention on that. And now that we've just kind of run out of stuff we want to do.
Yeah,
That's
pretty much.
pretty much it. It's like
It got to the point where we're kind of stretching, and then like you're doing something that you're not like fully invested in, and you got to like for the IRL channel, there was a lot of stuff with like maybe a bit of homework or prep beforehand as well.
A lot.
And at least for me, I'd be like, it wasn't my most exciting part of my week, like by far.
No, it
So-
was, and if it wasn't something you're super proud of, they were a lot harder in terms of organization.
Yeah.
and
You got to run around with
exhausting and
shoes on your hands.
ultimately extremely silly. And okay, this might be a bit of a hot take here, but while I was away, a lot of the time, people obviously it's their number one topic of conversation where you don't know what to talk about. Is, oh, what do you do? You know, what's what are you doing? You know, blah, 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 blah. What do you do?
They talk like that over there.
Yeah. Europeans, they're weird, man.
Wow, that's really different. Okay,
I
yeah.
picked up that speech pattern. Like you heard it before.
Yeah. And sometimes I'm like, would I want this random stranger to watch a video from the IRL channel and be like, yep, that's that guy?
Yeah, sure.
The answer was often no.
Okay.
I wasn't super proud of the
Oh,
what
that's
we were
interesting. For me, it's probably the opposite. I think the IRL is like the most like normie acceptable compared to like, hey, watch me play doubles on Smash
making.
or something.
Nah, I don't think so.
I have a hot take to counter of what
What
I
making a cold take a double negative?
What I think is that, like, I don't particularly care what the random people think if, like, I'm not trying to make
Nice.
Sorry, that's you
sound-
blocking out the haters.
Yeah. But, like, there's people who watch it who enjoy it. Like, it's a niche for a reason. So, like, it's like if a random person's going to judge me based on that, then, like, I probably don't want to know them that well anyway. I think I'm also a lot more willing to make myself look like an idiot in any sort of case. I think everyone fucking knows that based on you lose your cosplay and like stupid shit like that. I think like I just don't really care as long as the people enjoy
Yeah,
it.
but we're still got to be posted to the gaming channel
Yeah.
and the podcast are our main goal at the moment, and we could always like change our minds and
I
come
do-
back
yeah.
to it.
I
Like
think-
everything's kind of up in the air a bit.
Worth saying that I think if we have a good idea, I think that's the biggest thing for me, maybe,
Yeah.
is like if we have an idea that we actually want to do, all four of us, then we'll do it.
I think it's more like we needed, because like the four of us haven't been together for like ages.
Yeah.
Like we're going to strip everything back, make sure that we're like doing good stuff on the gaming channel. Like hopefully you'll see some good gaming videos coming out with Peter hopefully kind of soon, because the backlog is
The backlog's pretty dead at the moment. Yeah,
it's gone down a bit.
Oh, sweet.
And then some exciting stuff coming for the podcast as well. So we're like stripping back and focusing on those two things for the moment.
Yeah, like Jackson said, if there's an idea we want to do, we will do it. But I think what we set ourselves up with is like video every Saturday.
Yeah.
And then that kind of made us like burn ourselves out a little bit in that regard
Yeah.
and run out of our ideas and then feel like we had to make something even if we didn't have something to make.
Yeah, I think you've seen it with every YouTuber in the history of this platform, where they'll commit to doing something, they'll do it for a while, and then they kind of realize that it's not their passion. They're not doing it when they want to, they're doing it because they have to. And that makes it a job. Which
Well,
it is
plus
a
side.
job, but, you know,
We had like 50 videos. We had more than 50 videos. We had a great run.
we had a great run.
Just to not end it on too sour of a note though, Dungeons and Dragons is coming out soon. Was recorded a long time ago, but there will be a Dungeons and Dragons video dropping.
That is a very old video.
And that is
I was
something-
in it.
is that the
Yeah.
finale?
maybe.
Kind of like
Yeah.
that's our last one we recorded before you guys went away.
So that's something that people have been wanting for a while, and we won't be disappointing on that front.
Yeah. Sorry, we kind of got derailed. What do you think has changed about yourself since you left? Because Zack told us, and that distracted me with the IRL channel.
You got chains on your
you did-
glasses.
you
Is that European?
No,
I just noticed that.
can't be trusted to not lose my glasses.
pretty cool.
We
I
did
realized
kind of mention like before how you were, thinking about what you wanted to do. I suppose.
Yeah, I mean
Like-
that having people ask you what you do is a very good one because while you're away and you're kind of not working at the while, it's a really like up in the air phase of everyone's life. Like everyone in a hostel in Europe has no fucking idea what they're doing with their life
Yeah.
if they're there for more than like 2 weeks, right? Like
Yeah.
they're always like, I don't know what I'm going back to. I might study. I might do this. I might get my work. I don't know. So it's very like full of people at a crossroads, which makes you think a lot. So that was fun. That was interesting.
Yeah.
I realized that I do really love doing what I'm doing here with you guys.
Yeah.
Like there were thoughts of like, do I go back and study more? Because I got right back into my like nature animal stuff because I studied zoology for anyone who doesn't know. I was like, do I want to work in that? Because I'm still passionate about that. I got back into that. I got really into music more so than I was before. But then I ended up coming back and I'll be like, no, this is a blessing to have
100%.
the podcast, the gaming, everything. I do love it. I do love making it. It's just trying to find a way to make that like something I'm also proud of, which is the hard part, I think, for me personally. I know that maybe this doesn't apply to you guys as much, but it's very, very, very tough.
I don't know. Wow. What do you think, Jordan?
Awesome. I think the good thing about holidays is like it kind of forces you to detach, like because you're actually like you're just somewhere else, like, and you like get to kind of just think about things, like while you're not in it, because it's harder to be like I noticed more like when because obviously we stopped doing the IRL channel and we were kind of all like on holidays from Underdogs. I was like, I miss gaming, I miss the podcast. Yeah, I'm not missing doing that. Like for me personally, missing like doing the IRLs that much, and so it's like it's kind of hard to think about that while you're doing the thing. At least for me anyways.
It's hard to like realize things. It gives you a perspective.
Yeah.
As soon as you guys leave my house, I'm just waiting for you to come back for gaming.
Please.
I want to play doubles.
We're doing that today. Doubles. Bring it back.
Oh, yeah.
I was going to say, though, one other thing that's unrelated to like working in the podcast that I really got into while I was away is like geopolitics and other cultures in that regard, like looking at the world on a more macro scale than like just being in Australia. Because what we were saying with Perth being extremely isolated, we don't really have to care about the world's problems as much as people in Europe do.
No.
Because like, let's say you're in Western Europe, you are geographically in between, let's say, Russia and USA.
That's
you know,
scary.
like you
don't want to be there.
in the sandwich.
Yeah.
And you are right next door to the people and you're like, you know, if shit's going down, like, you know, let's say, I don't know, I'm not trying to get too political, but let's say, you know, like Ukraine gets taken over. Let's say Russia completes their objective. Like, what's next? And then, like, you know, they've got neighbors. And I'm in these countries that are, like, basically neighbors. And so you have to care. And so it's much more on people's minds there. It's much more a topic of conversation. That's something you don't really get here.
Yeah.
Like, people kind of like, they're like, yeah, but who cares?
But isn't that good to not have to worry about it?
No, it is good. But it's also good to know because everything does affect you eventually. Like I was in a hostel and I think I was in Italy at this point, and I was like, I got to invest in stocks outside of Australia. And everyone's like, we're like having a night of drinks and stuff. And they're like, what the hell are you talking about? And then I just like, my brain was just running loops because I was just like, well, if these guys go to war with these ones, then China will have to be that. And we're allies with this. And then we'll have our major trade partners, blah, 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 blah. And I'm like, interesting. Like, if...
Did you say stocks?
Or anything outside of Australia, right? Because, like, let's say... this is just like...
Sorry, I think you meant the stock market.
Well, yeah.
Potentially. Oh, that is what you meant.
Anything outside of Australia.
Right. Just
because
interests.
Let's say,
okay.
There's like some kind of war between the US and China because they're allied with people, like, you know.
Yeah.
We're allies with the USA. We can't trade with China anymore. Our economy goes into the shitter and all my money's worth nothing now.
Iron ore.
Yeah. So
do
it's
like
like,
iron ore.
well, that would suck and that is possible. And so it's stuff like that where it's like, you do need to care.
Do you reckon you kind of get a better perspective when you're traveling of how the world is just like, it's just only what it is right now for now?
It's ever evolving.
Yeah, because when you look at history, you're like, oh shit, like these places like Rome or whatever that were like the nowadays America, like you think, like, oh, this is how it is. It just lasts forever now. It's like, oh no, actually, like shit changes all the time.
This is exactly
like,
what I'm talking
constantly
about.
cycling. Yeah.
Stuff like that I was thinking about a lot because it was, understanding that the borders we have now have not been like that in the past and they will not be like that in the future.
Yeah.
And it's like, and what does that mean for me?
Yeah, it means I should learn Mandarin, I reckon. That's what I was thinking, like, just in case, you know?
Yeah. And like what it meant for me is like, maybe I shouldn't have my money all tied up in Australia if our currency goes to hell, which is possible.
Yeah,
right? Like,
Greek, they copped it, didn't they?
yeah, like, so stuff like that. More, I think it's cringe, but travel did make me more worldly in that regard. Like, I don't want to be the one to say it, but I am because nobody else was saying it, you know, so.
Yeah,
We're not worldly.
We're not worldly. Russia's really big. Did you
I
know?
had the fucking...
Worldly.
Do you guys know that though? Russia's so big. I think it's 11% of the world.
Yeah, it's huge.
Yeah, but it
You mean
also
like
looks
land
bigger on
size?
maps because it's so far north, so the projection drags it out.
Holy
It's very big. They be taking that
It's like
territory,
how Antarctica
man.
looks massive, but it's not. It's because the things near the poles get blown
Yeah.
up.
That is big, Jordan.
But it is big.
Very big.
Yeah.
Anyway,
We're
Zack.
pointing at the map for audio listeners and
I got
just
the
taking it
most
in.
discount version of becoming worldly. I was like getting a bit interested in the history as well, but then I just watched a few like educational but comedy YouTube videos about history.
Oh, what's this?
Oversimplified.
Yeah, that's the one I was
Yeah,
trying to think of. That's
I
a good
watched
one.
like every video on his channel, and which they're like quite educational as well.
They're
but
very
like it's
good.
also like just
Fun
comedy
to watch.
Yeah,
But
they're
that
good.
was about the extent of my worldliness gained.
I found that like when I was in a place and I learned more about the history, I could enjoy being there more because then I had context for the place.
Yeah.
So that like everything made more sense, and then more things are cool when more things make sense. If
Yeah.
that.
I rate that.
So like one night when I was in Newfoundland, Canada, which is like the eastern part of Canada, it's the most eastern part of North America, completely.
Yep.
And I was there. Couldn't sleep one night. I just watched 5 hours of documentaries about Newfoundland's history.
Wow.
And then like, sorry, I love Newfoundland. By the way, it was awesome. This is just a random example. It's not their main bit because I'm about to say they're the seal clubbing place.
What is that? What does that mean? They
The
just
Jordan,
seals
we
go
don't
to the
know
nightclubs. They raise they hit them in the head.
Wait,
So-
Seal, he has some good songs.
wait. What's
no?
wrong with that?
He's in the.
I can't keep up with this. 4 people's a lot, isn't it?
It's a lot. It's a lot.
It's a lot of threads.
Wait. Isn't that fine?
There was a lot of celebrities were very publicly against it maybe 20 years ago.
Oh, I'm gonna get into the ship of that then. I was just thinking like we kill cows and that.
Yes, that is a very valid. That's what the people who are in the industry would have said.
Yeah.
That's a valid point.
Do they eat
valid
the
point.
seals?
They eat them. They use their fur for stuff.
Right.
But the
They have
problem,
fur?
I think, the most problematic part is that the ones that make the best fur are these little white cute babies that.
Oh, they kill the
Yeah,
babies.
and
that sucks.
The babies can't crawl off the ice. So it's just.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It's not pretty, but like what killing animal is pretty?
Yeah, I mean, I don't
But
eat
it's also
lamb.
like
People eat lamb.
Yeah, lamb is baby sheep, and it's like
Yeah.
we don't eat mutton
But-
as much as we eat lamb.
Yeah.
But you just don't see it, and you don't hear about sheep clubbing or lamb clubbing.
My point is, sorry,
Sorry.
there was a point.
I'm with
learned-
you, Newfoundland.
and they don't talk about like that anymore because it's taboo, right?
Right.
And then I'm like, that explains the fur shop down the street that has these really nice fur things that I've never seen before.
It's
Seal.
Seal.
Oh,
Wait, so they still do it?
in very small amounts compared to what they used to. But it's
Ah.
it's still a thing that can be done. Anyway,
That makes sense.
for
Just
example,
bought my fursuit from there.
I saw that shop. I was like, weird shop. And now I come back and I'm like, oh, that makes sense. Like I really like learning the history of a place to appreciate their stuff more.
Yeah,
and
that
get
makes
it more.
sense.
Very interesting.
Get it?
I feel like being here made me want to just don't worry about everyone else. That's the biggest thing I think I've changed. Maybe the complete opposite of what you're talking about.
Like, don't worry about the world.
Just trying to figure out if I'm all right. Worry about the world second.
Yeah. Put on your own mask first or on the airplane.
What's the Bible quote, Jordan?
Oh, what is it? It's like I'm gonna butcher it. But
Please
it was
butcher
when no. It's when Jesus said,
Oh,
"Why
no.
are you?" It's when
Jesus
Jesus
said
said,
unto
"My
thee."
brother, why are you pointing out the
Twigs.
log in some?"
No, twigs in other people's eyes when you have a log in your own.
Yeah. That was it.
Whoa.
That was a good one from Jesus.
Good one, Jesus.
He said, "My brother, stop pointing at
He
his."
said, "My brother."
He said, "Stop looking at his twigs in his eye when
And how
you've
did
got
he
a
spell
log in
brother?
your own head."
So that's what I'm
oh,
not worried
Jesus
about.
drops the mic.
That was one of Jesus' quotes.
From the
He had some
famous
really
rap
good
battle.
ones. Shout outs to Jesus.
So did Greg Heffley, but we won't. Anyway,
Is he the author of Diary of a Wimpy
he's the
Kid?
main character.
Oh,
Yeah, so that's what I'm doing.
Yeah,
Sort
that's
of that.
totally valid. I think that you can have too little outside influence and you can also have too much outside influence, and they can also be good and bad. Like, let's say you're like scrolling Twitter every day and that's how you get your world news. That's too much.
Yeah.
Whereas going to a place and seeing it for a bit and getting a balanced perspective might be good.
Yeah.
But then for some people, it might not be good for their current mental state. So
I almost think you can't have too little. I think it's fine.
I think you definitely can.
Why?
Because then you're just like a sheltered hermit who knows nothing about anything. Like, if you never leave your house, is that too little? And you don't know about
well,
anything
yeah,
that
but
exists
that's-
outside your house?
Yeah, I guess that's too much. But yeah, other than that, I think like as long as you leave the house and you interact in your community, I think that's more.
Yeah, but
than
like,
enough.
let's say you've never seen a woman before. You don't know how to talk to a woman anymore, and now you say these awful things.
Well, this might be a bit of an extreme example.
well,
but
you're saying you can't have too little. I'm
Okay.
sure you can have too little.
I take it back.
I think Jackson more means like country town.
I mean, like
vibes.
world view in terms of like, yeah, country town. Like you go and talk to them about like, I don't know, even like, Israel Palestine like the biggest thing in the news, and they just like don't even know.
Yeah.
The context: I went to Tom Price, where my sister lives.
And that's
it
in the
was-
country.
What's the population
Oh,
of
come
Tom
on.
Price?
Guys, he took a massive breath and then Jordan interrupted him on the dot.
I just wanted to clarify that it was a country town for the listeners.
It's a country town. It has about 3,000 people.
So very small.
and very insular, and they pretty much produce. Well, I don't know the fact on that, but they do a lot of iron ore mining, which is quite an important resource for the world, and is why WA is very rich or a big part of it. Anyway, talking to people there, they don't know anything, and I think they're a lot happier. They just
I
know
like that.
they know about what happens in their local footy team. And I think that we get too hung up on the world. We're too connected with everything. And I think it starts to concern us and overwhelm us. Like, aren't you worried about this? Like, I don't even know what you're talking about. You know?
I mean, that's okay. So I was having this conversation with someone the other night. It's like the way I see it, because I would not agree with this. The way I see it is like, would you rather be the person like, okay, so there are two forms of being happy that you can have here. One's where you have your fingers in your ears and you're going la 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 and you're skipping around happily.
Yeah.
And the other form of happiness is being on the outside and watching that happen and understanding there's more, and that also brings you happiness.
I think that's very difficult to achieve. The
Yes.
second one.
Yes.
Almost
That's why-
I think almost impossible.
That's
to
why
be
people
honest.
say like an intelligent, happy person is like, what the?
I think anyone with a full understanding of, like, let's say, I don't want to get political, the Israel situation, how they can be happy is extremely difficult.
Yeah. Well,
Someone
it's
that has no idea and doesn't worry about it, I think, is going to have 100% more chance of being happy.
Exactly. It's the thing is like it's always been a. Sorry, we're getting real deep. It's a philosophical
so deep.
question, and I think a lot of philosophers have always come to the same point that they understand that life is suffering, right?
Yeah.
Like they get to that point at the end of all their thoughts. Life is suffering.
Yeah.
And now the next question is, how can you be okay with that?
Yeah.
It's not like, and I prefer to have that rather than just being like, life isn't suffering, actually.
Yeah. Well, I don't think they even think about that.
I know.
It's just smarter.
I know. I don't want to be like that.
Okay. I mean, I'm not saying anyone has
I
to
know.
do what I'm doing, but I just think, like, the more I learn about the world, the more depressing it is.
Oh, yeah, me too.
And just politics, you know, in like America, for example, is very polarizing and it consumes you and it makes me depressed when I think about it. I'd rather not.
Yeah.
There's a lot of evil people that control the world. And Tom Price, they're not really worried about that. They're worried about the same concepts on a far smaller scale. Like, I don't know, the footy team's president is not a nice guy because he doesn't know how to use the budget properly.
Yeah.
It's a similar problem to the world on a far less scale. So we're understanding the same concepts just without killing and hatred and all these bad things.
That is bad.
That is correct.
I feel
Jordan.
like we should move away from this, but sorry, I didn't want to cut
I was
you
just
off.
gonna. I think it comes down to how, you know, it's the whole curiosity kills the cat thing, right?
Yeah.
It's just comes down to how much knowledge you want, despite knowing that it might be bad for you.
Yeah, I think I used to really want the knowledge.
Yeah.
I don't think I do anymore.
Maybe I'm in that phase. Maybe I'll get to that one in a couple years.
Yeah, I used to just really be consumed by world pol. I remember particularly in COVID, it got me into it. I don't know if anyone else has this same what's it called, phenomenon where I didn't really know about the world. Then COVID happened, and you kind of had nothing else to do but like talk about politics because of masks, vaccines, etc. It kind of became everyone had to know about it, and I think it depresses a lot of people. And I think everyone's mental state since has been poor, and so I think that's kind of an example of what I'm talking about.
Interesting.
Anyway.
All right, next.
So,
Any fun stories, Peter?
I've got loads.
tell
I've
us
got so
about
many.
the Italian pizza, Zach.
Oh yeah,
Because I
we
want to
can't-
hear about
we
this.
can't
Okay,
do
I'm
this.
not saying Italian pizza is bad. Obviously, Italian pizza is good, but they're not all good. Like, some of them are worse than some of the places we have here in Perth. I went to like the best pizza place in Naples, where pizza is from, and yeah, that was unreal. I have like good appreciation for
Is
margarita.
it like the thing with like they have 3 toppings or something?
Yeah,
like,
simple.
Like very simple.
margarita pizza, like
That cheese?
tastes like so much stuff when it's only 3 stuff.
Sauce.
Oh
Crazy.
damn! But is that even a good pit? Wouldn't you rather something taste like more stuff and be more stuff because you get more nutrients?
I surely have to think of a food that you like that's simple. Like, do you like all your food to have a million things in them, or do you like some simple stuff?
I would I only have it simple because I can't be bothered But if it's got more stuff, then you get more nutrients.
John's saying if you could put 100 things into one thing and it still tastes good, he would eat it because it has
like
more
my protein
more
shake
nutrients in
has
it.
a lot of stuff in it, and then it's like, oh, that's all sorted.
Yeah, but that's because you're trying to mask the fact that protein powder kind of is a bit shit, right?
No, I like the protein powder, but it's like, oh, I could also get some omega-3s from my seeds or whatever that is.
I'm talking to the food pill guy. I'm just going
It
to
is, yeah, it's a good point. It's a good point. That's pretty cool, the pizza thing. My bad.
Respect on the pizza.
Respect on the 3 ingredients. That's cool.
Do you want to weigh in on the Italian pizza?
Yeah, I mean, I had some really good ones too because I also went to Naples, or as I say now that I won't Napoli.
Oh, is that how you actually say it?
Well, that's the Italian Napoli. Naples sounds really weird, don't you think?
That sounds very Australian.
Sounds normal
Pop
to me.
down to Naples.
Naples.
They do that with every Italian city. Like Venice is like Venezia.
Oh, how do they say Australia?
No, they do it with the Italian
No, that's
cities.
a good question, actually. How do
Like-
they say Australia.
Wow.
No, it's like
Australia.
Australia
cool.
is French for Australia.
Ah.
Anyway, I didn't learn much Italian, but I know some French. That's cool.
I've been taking Italian lessons as a side note.
Nice.
Ooh.
Anyway, back to your
Can you
story.
say, I would like a pizza with 3
absolutely
ingredients?
Can you do this one yet?
Grazie. Grazie.
Oh boy.
Anyway, so
Anyway, I was saying I got caught up in being
Pizza,
a
pizza.
travel snob.
Yeah.
I had a really, really great one. And then one of the nights in Naples, I had the shittest meal I think I've ever had at a restaurant in my life.
Oh my
holy moly.
Damn.
And it wasn't close. It
Wow.
was so bad. And it was a tourist trap place, basically. I did a good job of avoiding tourist trap places for the most part.
How do you
I
avoid
definitely
it?
see where you're coming from, where like the good ones were good and the bad ones were bad.
Wait, any tips? How do you avoid these tourist traps?
The thing with Naples, so up to this point in my trip, Google Maps was my best mate for finding places to eat. You just
Yeah.
like look at the reviews, you say like thing near me, like 4.9, get me in there.
Yeah.
Like that is gonna be fire.
I love Google reviews.
Didn't really work in Italy. Like it just they don't really use that system. They're much more based on word of mouth in finding places, and it's almost gatekeepy.
Right.
Like if you find a good place, you're not gonna post about it online because you want it to be your quiet little place.
Yeah.
Whereas America doesn't really have that culture. It's like, guys, come check this out. This was so sick. Like check it out. They're much more gatekeepy
Capitalism.
there for some reason, and so it was really hard to find good places because I was not a local.
Yeah.
And so it was just really tough. So sometimes you got lucky and like a local would talk to you because the people of Napoli are so friendly and nice. So sometimes they'd help you out. And sometimes you're just walking down the main strip, you're like, this place looks good. And it's just fucking dog shit.
Yeah, I
It
feel
was
like
fucking so gross.
Wait,
it
what?
was so gross.
Can you explain what you got?
We just got like a few Italian dishes. We got a pizza, we got a pasta, we got
I
what's
should
the
have
name of
guessed
should have guessed.
I should have guessed. Pizza and a pasta.
what's the name of it? A
Mamma
caprese
mia.
salad. We got a caprese salad. We
Yeah.
got a bruschetta. Like, you know, it's so good. It was actually inedible, and I'm not a fuzzy eater. Like,
What was inedible about it?
well,
disgusting.
they gave us the wrong pizza for one.
Bad
so
start.
they gave us the wrong thing, and I didn't say anything because I can't be fucked. It was late at night.
Yeah.
The pasta was undercooked. The caprese, I think the mozzarella was off. The bruschetta, it was like on pieces of cardboard, and it was just all shit.
Right.
It was all shit
The worst experience
Damn.
by far.
of a restaurant in my life.
Wow.
Yeah, so there you go. But I also had some of the best. I had like the best carbonara I've ever had.
Yeah.
In Napoli as well. So the range is definitely true.
We have a really good comment in our chat. All good food places are doomed to have a TikTok made about them, which I think is really true.
I hate
ruins
that
them.
trend now of
Yeah.
like every place has to have a bit, and like
Oh, no, I
you like
agree.
go there and it's like, oh, this is like just a bit annoying to eat now. It's pretty good, but it's like
What's an example? of
okay,
this?
well,
Talk us through it, Jordan.
like because Holly will find these places, right? So we'll check these out. And then, like, people who go there actually like it. But, like, for example, there's a place called... Oh, I shouldn't call them out. But anyways, it's like...
No.
It's like sandwiches, but they're just, like, massive and the bread's big. And I'm like, this is just annoying. Or, like, I don't know. It'll just be, like, something. And it's like, it's a pancake, but it's on stilts or something. I don't
there's
know.
a waffle place here in Perth that opened recently, and it's all shaped like dicks. And
Is it?
other
Yeah. And it's just
genitals.
like, okay. Well, it's
And
just
it's like-
a little bit more annoying now.
Naughty waffles. Ha ha ha. Posted on... No.
I've seen naughty waffles.
No,
Surely
fuck
they
off.
could have
How
got
about you fuck
blue
off?
waffles.
Yeah.
Had to be.
But another annoying thing is that
Yes.
these places are actually insanely popular, and like there's a trend of like people just I don't know. There's like this place has got like 3 seats, but there's like 50 people there. And it's like, God damn it. Anyways.
Yeah.
It's almost like a hook is better than like, oh, it's really good.
Oh
Yeah.
yeah.
Yeah, so I think that's kind of exactly
But
the problem.
It's
you're
because
talking
you're doing it.
advertising.
You're doing
Yeah.
it to post on social media,
yeah.
and you
And it
can't
works
say,
really well.
You're gonna say it was really good either way.
Yeah.
So that's lost any amount of weight. It's
Yeah.
like it was really good, and my weight is on roller skates.
Yeah.
It's like shit, I gotta see that.
fuck, that's sick, man.
It is a good way to go about it.
Bless you.
That's our reminder to stay on topic.
Speaking of bless you,
Okay.
I have a gift for the pod.
Oh my gosh.
Holy shish.
I will bless this pod. Here is
What the hell's
some
this?
holy water from the Pope's
No
house,
way.
aka the Vatican.
Holy guac. Let me
So
see
this
this
is
shot.
from
Can we
the
drink
Vatican.
it?
You know, this is the,
Jackson, he just opened it.
The lid fell off, but it's empty.
it must have leaked. Maybe it leaked. I'm blessed. I'm blessed. It leaked.
Yeah,
no water
okay,
in it.
here's what happened. He handed it to me, and as soon as I took it, the lid fell off and tipped over. And me and John thought it spilled
All the way
everywhere.
from Italy or
It's been
whatever.
revealed
I-
that it's empty.
Sophie and I both bought one. Hers leaked. Maybe I picked hers up. I'll see if I can find the full one.
Maybe it had a hole in it.
Maybe it had a hole in it.
Holy
Nice.
Because now it's screwed on, it won't fall off. But anyway,
I think that must have been Sophie's. It was unscrewed.
Sorry, Pope.
Man, I tried to bless you after the sneeze. The timing was so good. This
That
is
would have been-
devastating.
perfect. But unfortunately, it was empty.
Well, I guess we'll continue to be cursed on the
All
pod, I
the
guess.
way from Italy.
I guess we'll be cursed.
That bit was like so many months in the making. Just for
This is brilliant. I appreciate what you tried to do.
We'll try again next week. Maybe that was empty too.
That, I can't believe it. Just fill one of them up and just bring it in.
Yeah, should I just
Yeah,
go to the
like-
tap in the
Yeah,
bathroom?
we
got
should
the
just
container.
redo it.
Oh my goodness
you guys will never
gracious.
know.
Can I put this up here for
Yeah.
the blessings?
The holy water.
Octillery's going to hold the
Wow, we.
Man. Why is
wow.
there not a Pokemon move like Holy Water? Like a water type move?
That's a bit
I think
risky.
they remove all religious references from
I'm
that
going to
stuff.
kill you with my religion. It's like, come on. Let's not put that in the kids' game.
Wow, brilliant.
But yeah, that's a country I missed. Vatican. The
Oh, that's
Vatican.
a country, isn't it?
Because it's in Rome.
Yeah.
It's,
is that where the Pope is?
yeah, that's like the Sistine Chapel. You know, the painting of God with
Doing
his,
the fingers?
Yeah, to
Why is that
when
a
I saw
country?
that in person.
Doing God giving you the finger.
No,
That's
sorry.
like that's like, you know, the Sistine Chapel, which is like the main church of the whole Vatican, basically.
Right.
That's the center of the roof. That painting.
Whoa.
And so
Right.
like you're in there and you're like, oh wow, paintings on every wall. Hey, that's the one I know. Like,
then
you
you're
know,
on the
like
roof.
that's the OG
Wow.
one. That's
Did you get a
sick.
sore neck from looking at so many paintings on the
Yeah,
roof?
dude.
Like, there's a bunch of shit on the roof.
We
Yeah.
should get a painting on this roof.
That would be
We
good.
do. People can't
I like
see
it at the
set.
dentist
Sorry.
when there's a telly.
TV?
Yeah.
Yeah.
that's
Maybe
good.
we should put chat on the roof and we can just like all
Wow.
look at them up
All
there.
looking up.
That's a good idea.
I got my camera bag stolen in Italy.
Oh,
that
yeah.
fucking sucked.
Mamma mia.
Are there more thieves there?
Yeah.
Is that racist
so-
to say?
No, it's a touristy place. So like, if
Yeah.
you're gonna go and try and steal from tourists, you're gonna go to a big city there. Like,
I was
Yeah.
told that
it's
so
got a
much.
concentration of like petty crime
Yeah, wow.
because there's so many people.
And so many
Interesting.
silly tourists. probably.
Exactly.
Yeah.
Like this guy.
Yeah, like we got told so much, like the pickpockets in Italy, like don't leave your stuff, and I even had like a thing going around my neck to like clip onto my phone so that people can't just like
Nah,
grab your
that's
phone
smart.
out of your pocket. Yeah, it was smart. The not smart thing, we were sitting in the McDonald's opposite the road from the train station, looking back, probably like prime fucking spot for getting tourists.
Yeah.
And we had like all our bags on the floor, and I have this like camera bag, which was like what we thought was tucked underneath the table, like decently well, but then like sort of looked down, realized it wasn't there, and was just like so much panic.
Yeah.
And then, because like one of us had to stay with our bags, and I was like, Maddie, stay there. And I just like started sprinting around the blocks.
Like looking everywhere.
Yeah, to try and see if someone had, because it was like kind of recent that they must have taken
Wait, so
it.
did they take it while you were sitting there? You
Yeah.
reckon? Wow. That
And I don't
sucks.
know how, but they did. And the camera bag was like at least like $5,000, probably like up towards 10 grand worth of stuff. So it was pretty fucking terrible.
Yeah.
But yeah, I was like running around the street blocks trying to find someone who had taken it, and then we ended up like not finding it. after quite a while. But then we went to the police station to like file a report. Some other guy came in and he was like, I lost my passport, wallet, and like all my cards and that. And like he was in the same McDonald's. And then like later I was still walking around the streets seeing if they had dumped like the camera bag anywhere, so that I also have my passport and wallet in that bag.
Oh,
That's
and like
Lose your
insane.
passport while you're away is so cool.
yeah, a few €100 worth of euros and like cash and my driver's license and bank cards. So pretty
God
much everything.
damn,
yeah.
bro, that's so bad.
But I was walking around the streets and then I see like this passport wallet with all the cards like strewn everywhere, like on the ground. And then I was like, that looks a bit sus. But then like there were a few people around it. And I was like, I don't want to like pick this up off the ground and like take it with me.
Oh, that's not yours. Or
But then I
something?
was like, you know what? I'm going to do it. And then I like called Maddie and I was like, hey, what's the guy's name at the police station? And he was like, I can't remember the name, but it was the same on like all the bank cards in the wallet. And I was like, I found your like passport and all like his bank cards. I think they only took his cash. And it was just like thrown all over the street and like I randomly found it.
You're
So
a
that was
hero.
pretty nice. Like I gave it back to him and then his wife like was super, super appreciative. And
That's cool.
yeah, that was very cool. And I think I got good karma because then someone messaged me and said they found my passport and driver's license in a bush.
Oh my god.
They'd
So it seems that they just toss the IDs and stuff because they
Yeah.
can't use that.
Yeah.
They take the stuff that's worth money, and then I think it's because you get in more trouble if you steal a passport.
yeah.
Like,
I've heard
it's
that's a
identity
worse
theft.
offense.
Makes
right?
sense.
Yeah.
Like only the passport with like my driver's license tucked inside was in a bush, and a lady found it and contacted the Australian embassy,
Wow, what a legend.
and they emailed me, and she actually just messaged me on Facebook Messenger, and was like, "Hey, meet me here," and I was like, "Is this the thief trying to like bait me to like
Imagine.
take more shit?"
I have it, but it's for $1 million if you want it back.
But yeah, I met this like nice Italian who had found it. I got my passport and driver's license back, which was
Wow.
like insanely good. It meant I didn't have to go through all the stress of that.
Yep.
But overall, still quite terrible.
That's
So you
really
lost your
great.
camera bag and camera and everything.
Yeah, but it also had like filters, spare batteries, and SD cards, and a microphone, and
no.
an ND filter.
All the, Zack's a camera nerd.
Yeah,
you know,
man.
the whole shebang.
Yeah.
That's brutal.
That's why we've only
rough.
got one camera angle for this one.
Yeah,
Here we
good call. I did actually buy a new camera.
No,
but
we're
let's-
blaming you. We're blaming you.
You've got a good reason.
You bloody pasta people.
Damn, that sucks. That it was just like under you and they still took it. Because I would do the same
Yeah.
thing, I reckon. You're in a McDonald's, like just put the bag under the table and while you're
Yeah.
sitting there.
Yeah,
You
should
have to, like,
looped it
yeah,
around my
loop it
leg,
on you.
which,
Okay.
Like I had been doing some places, but like this was in Florence or Firenze, but it didn't seem like that dodgy of a
Fair.
town.
Yeah.
And that's how they get you.
Yeah, it did make my Italy experience a bit more sour.
Yeah, that sucks.
Anyway, should I tell a different story now that a bit more uplifting?
Yeah, if it's
Now
good.
that we're
Yeah,
bringing
yeah.
it back up. So for any of the Smashy Bros fans in the audience, I want to talk about the people, the YouTubers and all that stuff that I met along the
Oh,
way.
nice.
Because a lot of my USA trip was meeting people and staying with people because that's where the majority of the audience is, and that's where the majority of the creators are as well. We're in our own little Perth island over here.
Yep.
So it's not just Smash Bros people, it's other people as well. So when we were in Vancouver, which is right at the start of our trip, I did post on Twitter. I was like, anyone who knows the town well, who lives here, wants to meet up or something, let me know. So I kind of put the feelers out there, and then I got quite a few replies. So thank you to everyone that replied. I obviously wasn't going to get around to meeting everyone personally because I was
Yeah.
kind of looking for a bit of a local guide. So just I picked one person. I was kind of going through the replies, and I was like, I'm trying to pick someone who's going to be normal.
Yep. So how do you do? Like, click on their profile picture. It's like a
Rough.
furry. You're like, oh, I don't know.
But anime profile picture.
Yeah, okay,
it's,
okay. It's just like you want to see a person and they're like
I want
smiling.
to know that you're a human.
And maybe
You know
they're
what
like
I
in a
mean?
couple or something.
Yeah,
You're like, oh,
yeah,
that's
yeah.
nice. Yeah.
So that I ended up meeting someone, and it was like their profile was like, it's a picture of them, fantastic.
Nice.
And then you know how you have your Twitter bio? You normally put a few things about yourself.
Yeah.
Pikachu main came like third or something in their list. It was
Solid.
like, job.
Oh, and Pikachu as
sport,
well.
Smash Bros. I was like, okay, this guy's a G. We had an amazing time. I went to some tournaments there in Vancouver, so check out
How'd you do?
micro spacing. I think I actually didn't do so bad. I think I came like 9th or something. So, it was like it was a free tournament. It was held in the Microsoft office building.
Oh,
which is really sick because one of the TOs works for Microsoft. Very smart
That
guy.
is
Shout
cool.
outs. Very, very cool guy as well. And they just had a really lovely group of friends and a really lovely group of Smashers. And I actually had a fantastic time going to a Smash tournament. Would you believe?
that's
So
awesome.
that was awesome. So they were awesome. So shout outs to Microspacing and that crew. Those guys were fantastic and really, really friendly. So that was a fantastic time. We went down. In California. I went to a party at Alfred's house, and while he was having his friend gathering thing, it just happened to be at the same time that I was in LA.
That's cool.
And it wasn't like I was like part of their whole festivities thing. They did their whole like week of hanging out because they have all their friends over and they all hang out.
Right.
And I just went to like a couple things on the last 2 days. And I met so many people at this thing, as you would imagine. And that was very, very cool. And like, some of the best part about that is that a lot of the people I met then were living elsewhere, and then I met up with them later on in my travels. So I stayed with CJ, who is Super Mario Odyssey speedrunner.
I saw you guys on the trampoline.
Yeah, he has a trampoline in his backyard.
Oh,
He jumped
hell
on the
yeah.
trampoline.
That's cool.
Him and his partner I think they have 4 cats now, but they had 3 cats. We hang out with the cats. We went to the state fair together. That was awesome. So
What is it? What is that? Is that like I'm picturing
It's
there's
like a
tents.
carnival.
Yeah.
It's like it's legitimately like a carny type shit. Like the rides, most of
there's
them
rides.
are no fun and they make your neck hurt. And you just go on it anyway. Like it's shit.
It's like a wooden roller coaster or something.
It feels dangerous. It feels terrible, and you still do it. And I gotta say, CJ, he's a really funny guy.
That's
And
cool.
His reactions to things are just the funniest. Like he's like, I don't like rides. I don't want to go on this ride. And it's like the scariest ride of the whole place where you're going like upside down in this thing.
Yeah.
And then Sophie managed to pressure him into going onto it. And so then I was just standing the outside of it and just listening to him scream as he's going around. It's just like, ah, ah. It was just so
Did you not go on it?
I'd already been on it.
Oh.
And Sophie was like, you got to go on that one again. And I'm like, no, thank you. That sucked. And he got pressured into going. So that was great. Stay with Expand Dongman in Texas.
Nice.
Very funny guy, very friendly. We had the best Texas experience. So EDM, shout outs, absolute G.
Then he took you to like a rodeo, right?
Yeah, we went to the rodeo, we went to the gun range. Sorry, anyone who hates Texan culture, it's. I think that they have a good time, despite if you agree with guns and stuff. It's just their culture, so might as well soak it up. So we had a sick time in Texas, did a bunch of Texas stuff, and had such a good time with EDM that they're now planning on coming to visit us, EDM and his wife,
really?
in Perth. So hopefully we can actually do some videos in person. Maybe
That
we'll
would
have
be
him as
sick.
a pod guest or something at some point because he's actually so cool. I can't overstate that. And stay with Pokemon Challenges in Germany, who
I don't
is
know that.
really cool. He's a really cool guy. Really had a good time. So shout outs to everyone I met. Met with Kiana, who was a guest on the pod.
Oh, yeah.
Nice.
She took us to Disneyland for free because she works for Disney.
True.
And that was awesome. So that was really, really, really awesome.
Did you do It's a Small World?
No, I don't know if they actually have that in the LA one. Do they?
Yeah.
What
I
is
missed
that?
it.
Yeah.
It's
Thanks for asking.
It was like the stupidest ride that I thought, but I think it's quite iconic. It's like one of the ones where there's a lot of Disney rides where you kind of like go through slowly and there's animatronics and that.
Yeah.
This one's just a bunch of tiny people going, "It's a small world after all." Do
Yeah,
you know that
definitely.
song?
Skipped
No,
that
what
one.
is that? Willy Wonka?
It's kind of iconic.
It's its own thing.
Oh.
It's
iconic
just-
though.
Yeah, they just thought, let's do It's a Small World, and everything's small, and they're singing It's a Small World after all.
So they made up their
Ah.
own like thing.
Yeah.
Genius.
Respect.
I mean, how does anyone make anything?
No, I more meant like it wasn't from any IP or anything like that.
I mean,
No.
Pirates of the Caribbean started at Disney and then became a movie. Like it's, it
What do
was
you mean?
it was a ride first.
oh, was it really?
Yeah.
Oh, okay.
And like that's kind of they make their own shit.
So there might be It's a Small World movie.
I'm sure.
Ooh.
Hopefully not.
And you met TC Nick as well, right?
Yes, save with TC Nick. That was awesome.
Nice.
He's actually such a G. We had a good time. He gave us a real authentic kind of New York experience. He's very like he gets New York. He's
What
like,
was that? Like, eat
he's
pizza?
like making us aggressively jaywalk in front of cars because he's like, well, that's what you do here. It's like, they're like, I'm walking here when you walk in front of a car. It's basically that energy.
That's
It's just
so
like,
funny.
And you know how like you're walking on the road, you see a car coming, you might like hurry up your pace a little bit.
Yeah,
Get out of the
yeah.
way. He's like, don't fucking do that. They will slow down. Like, and I'm like, what? And he's like, no, that's just what people do here. I'm like, Okay. Like,
How funny.
cultural experience. That was so
What was
sick.
the weirdest cultural change that you guys felt, if anything? Like just one thing that was like, wow, we do not do that in Australia.
I just realized Australia is not normal.
Yeah.
Like, everyone's like, man, you guys have really dangerous animals, right? I'm like, no. No. Yeah,
why?
I chew on the R in the word no. That's correct. And so then I go, nah, we don't. It's not that bad. And then as more time passed, I'm like, we do. This is fucked up. Like, why was I taught in school how to identify dangerous spiders? Like, why was I taught in school to, like, when you're walking through the bush, make sure to step nice and loud so the snakes hear the vibrations from you walking and get out of your way? Like, why do I know this?
Yeah.
People in Europe do not know this shit. Like, yes, I'm used to it.
Do Europe even have animals? I never hear anything about a European
Not
animal.
dangerous ones.
It's
but
like
they
some birds or something.
They have animals.
We barely have animals.
Like what mammals are around Europe?
Marmots in Switzerland.
I've never heard of that in my life.
like
It's very
foxes.
like built up, right? That's kind of the reason.
Yeah.
It's just thousands of years of human habitation.
Yeah.
Like, the bears, like, there used to be bears in the UK.
Yeah.
And now, like, if you're going to see a bear in Europe, it's going to be, like, down in Romania, right?
Yeah.
You're not going to get them in, you know, France, right?
That's what I was thinking. Like, what animals do? It's
And,
like all
you know,
buildings. And
lions used to live up in, like, France. That was, like, the historical range. No, not anymore. Like, all dead. All dead. Lynxes, all gone. Bears, all gone. Big cats,
Damn.
all gone. Dangerous animals, like, through thousands of years of humans living in village, they killed them all.
They sorted them out.
So, like,
riddance.
yeah, there's not really, like, yeah, we do have a lot of dangerous animals, and I didn't realize how used to it I was.
So if someone came here from like somewhere else, what would you take them to do in Perth that would give them the Perth experience? Like you say you went to Texas and did the gun range and etc.
Well, I've been thinking about that because if EDM's going to come over, I'm going to
Like
have to
what-
do that.
Gotta go to the
because you're like
beach.
Australia's not normal. What would you show people to demonstrate what Australia's like?
I think definitely a road trip because the unspoilt wilderness and stuff is huge. So how vast our state is and how much untouched beaches. The fact that you can go to a white sand, pristine beach, the most beautiful beach you've ever seen, and be the only person there.
Yeah, I actually did
It's
a bit
not
of that
normal.
when I travelled up to Tom Price.
Yeah.
It was amazing. Like
It's amazing.
Not a Ningaloo, which is like
Oh, Niglo is amazing.
it's amazing. And I'm not a beach person. I loved it.
Yeah, that's the thing. It's like, the fact if you had a beach that pretty anywhere else in the world, like let's say Europe, not anywhere else in the world, in Europe, there'd be 50 cafes, 100 people trying to sell you shit.
Yeah.
Like zillions of people there, like deck chairs put out and they're charging you 15 euros to use a deck chair, shit
Yeah.
like that. You can just go there here.
No, it's like ankle deep water and there's just like stingrays like
Yeah.
around and just like sea creatures. I would just go hunting for creatures, which I quite like.
Yeah, it's
too.
great. It's rock pool hunting,
Rock
great time.
pool hunting.
I guess you don't think about what you like don't get when you go traveling.
That's why I was wondering, like, when
It's
you
like-
left,
Yeah.
what's the thing? So you reckon you go, like, let's say down south or something?
Yeah, maybe up north, maybe down south. Also in Perth, the relaxed lifestyle is lovely.
Yeah.
You know, it's just a good old time.
Yeah.
But I'm cooking. I'm thinking of stuff to host
Because I always think, like,
important to
I
me.
remember, like, when the Smashers would come over and be like, all right, here's the Perth cactus. What the hell's going on?
Nah.
Like, I don't know
Our
what to
city
show
life
them
ain't really city.
when they come here. Because
Yeah.
go around
no.
the southwest.
I think you need to get around the lifestyle because that's what Perth has, right?
Right, definitely.
So, you like, wake up at 6 a.m,
Yeah.
go to the beach and get a coffee afterwards. You know,
Yeah.
like that is very
Aren't
Perth.
coffees in Australia like a thing?
Oh, they're so good.
Yeah,
so
I would
fire.
think. That's
Like
for sure.
I was watching a movie and then the Americans are like, "Oh, I have a coffee in Australia. It's crazy."
Well, apparently, if
That's
you're
because
a,
American coffee's so dog shit.
Is it? Yeah.
It's trash.
It's
if you're
like
like a
anywhere
barista
in the
here,
world.
it's easy to get a job there, apparently.
Yeah,
because they
because-
really sought out after that Australian
wow.
coffee experience.
Our bar is really high. and
Yeah.
Theirs is basically on the floor. It's not a bar, it's a curb, you know. It's
Did you
fun.
have any good? Because you like coffee. You like coffee. Did you have any good coffees there?
Yeah, I had a great one in LA. And it's just because like you walk into a cafe and you immediately get the vibes.
You know what's going on.
You,
or not?
you know if it's going to be good. Like
Right.
the more like the person who's serving you the coffee, the more like crazy tattoos they have,
Abstract they
yeah,
are,
if
yeah.
they've got a shaved head, if they look like they've done about every drug you can imagine,
Yeah.
you know it's going to be a fire.
But that's
coffee.
kind of like here as well. I feel like when
Oh,
I
yeah.
walk in and they've got like half of a head or something, I'm like, oh,
Fuck, yeah. I got a sick one in LA, but like when it's just some lovely old lady who called you Dal, you're gonna have a good time, but the coffee's gonna taste like shit.
yeah, sure.
Like it's different vibes. Zach, what was your biggest culture shock? Sorry, I just yapped.
Everyone drinks sparkling water in Europe, and it sucks.
Oh, I hate sparkling water.
I hate sparkling water too.
No.
It's
Bastards.
I'll stand up for it. I like it.
this is like a much smaller cultural difference, but it's like
That's huge.
It's everywhere.
Oh.
But it's like
That sucks.
You're outraged.
I don't want to go. Holly and I are going to go there we are going to go there for our honeymoon.
There's so much sparkling water, and because it's all in like different languages, and lots of the packaging looks the same. Bunch of times I went to get a water, turns out it's sparkling, and I'm like, oh.
Did you get used to it, or it sucked the whole time?
Sucked the whole time.
Oh no, you're giving me no faith here.
And that's about it.
I like sparkling water.
Damn.
No, I don't
Yeah,
think
sparkling
that's
water's
it.
great.
But I couldn't drink, you're supposed to drink whatever, 2 liters or whatever a day. I could not drink that much sparkling water. It's a nice little treat sometimes.
Yeah, it's extra refreshing, maybe too refreshing.
Yeah. It's like, whoa.
Maddie spoke to someone that like just doesn't drink still water. All they drink is sparkling water, and that's insane to
That
me.
is insane.
Whoa.
You just,
Yeah.
well, you could do it in Australia, but it'd be hard.
Expensive.
You know what I think is, because since you were talking about the like wide open, untouched spaces, I mean, we had to get there. Iceland, my favorite place.
Oi!
Favorite place in Europe. Knew it was going to be. and
You've been
it
wanting to
was.
go there for years and years.
Yeah, I would call it a tiny winter crazy landscape version of Australia vibes.
Oh.
Because it's
Wow.
like remote, and it's just like their biggest city is like Reykjavik, which is like not very big at all. And it's like lots of it is like wide open roads between like other small like country towns.
Ooh.
And it's just so beautiful. I think me and Maddie have talked about it, like potentially moving there like when we're older.
Damn, that's
And I
sick. So it's
think-
like Australian vibes, but just like cooler looking.
Yeah.
I'll be
And,
honest,
like,
I hate Australian like landscape. I'm like looking around. It's just like, because I really like when I play Minecraft, I like when it's like bright green.
Right.
And then it's like, I look at Australia and it's like brown. I'm like, God,
You got to go to Switzerland. It's
We are.
green.
Yeah.
Because Holly and I have been planning our honeymoon, and we were like looking at places. We weren't going to go to Switzerland because it's like expensive or something. And then we like looked at some videos, and I was like, we have to go there. Like I don't care about anywhere else. I just want to go to Switzerland.
Another incredible.
It looks so good.
Yeah, it's really pretty. It's really expensive, but it's really pretty. And, mountains in the background. That's the worst
Yeah.
part about Perth landscape. It's flat as shit.
Very flat.
It's so flat. Like, we were flying over, just looking out the window. Where's the rest of it? It's just
No earthquakes
the
though.
land goes off and it slowly fades into the horizon. There's no end to the horizon. It's just, there's nothing there.
Yeah,
red
that's
dirt.
true.
No hills.
But yeah, you're right, Jordan, how we like don't get any natural disasters because we're such a boring like.
It's pretty chill.
Flat
Like, man,
land.
hurricanes and shit have been hitting America. That seems terrible.
You know what was crazy
It
about
seemed,
like
but I actually have no idea.
I wouldn't know.
It
I'm
might be
chilling.
okay.
Maybe it's fine. They're over exaggerating.
no, what was another thing that was like insane when we went to Iceland? We found like the weather is just fucked.
Wait, in a bad way?
Yeah, like
Oh, no.
we had like planned our like route, and then like on day 3 it was like red alert, don't drive along this road because it's like 75 kilometers an hour winds with gusts of like over 100 k's an hour. Like,
Is that
if
a lot?
we drove our if we drove our camper van along the road and a big gust of wind came and like you weren't really holding onto the wheel or something, like it could blow the van off the road straight up.
Holy shit.
That's
They were saying like
terrifying.
nobody drive between these places. So we spent an entire day like in this massive flood like storm with all this wind. We had to sit in our camper van for an entire day because it was just
Holy moly.
so rainy.
Damn.
And there was like nothing to do near our caravan park.
That's terrifying.
And
The weather was
we
just
couldn't
so
go
extreme,
anywhere.
yeah.
And then a volcano erupted while we were on Iceland as well.
I don't know if you should. Well, I guess you go there when you're old because like, I just find to die now. Like
Yeah.
the volcano's erupting, the winds are like turning your car over. You're like,
Was
fuck.
it you telling me about how the land near the volcano
That was
is really
me.
cheap?
That
was it
me.
you telling me that?
When I was in
really?
Naples, because you're right next to Mount Vesuvius, like
Yeah.
you're in driving distance to Pompeii. That's where people go to Pompeii
Yeah.
and see the ruins. Very cheap apartments.
apartments in a massive building? Oh
It's 100,000 euros, 150,000 euros, which is like 2-something-hundred Australian. You won't get an apartment here for anywhere near that
God,
price.
no.
And it's just like, well, we are literally built on top of the ash.
The last
that
guys.
has buried the last civilization. There's 15 meters of ash, and that's like when you go to Pompeii.
Oh.
You're like, town. Oh, this is more like Herculaneum, which is another one too. Town. Whole ruin. Up the other side,
man.
town. It's truly on top of the last one.
That's crazy.
And it's like, 2,000 years ago, they got blown up. Might happen again, but odds are low.
Yeah.
Take your chances. Here's a cheap house.
Yeah.
wow.
And I was like, what the hell? No wonder it's cheap. That's crazy to think that you're just living there.
Yeah, like any
Crazy to
second
think
it's
that.
over.
It's kind of the opposite of here.
But so
It's
it's
right
that,
next to the sea. There's the sea, there's mountains. It's beautiful, but it's very cheap.
yeah, suspicious. So this volcano was not killing everyone though.
Like a lot of people had to evacuate.
Oh.
But then we kind of
Oh,
got
dear.
to that area. We like finished out. We were on the other side of the mountain when it erupted, and we were a little bit like, oh damn, it would have been cool to see it erupting. 6 days later, there was still lava spitting out, and like we got to like take some photos and see it erupting from like a distance,
Right.
Which is really cool. So I've like seen lava now.
Did
but
it change you?
Not particularly.
Okay.
Didn't
you never
I
know.
like-
Like the land is very alive.
What thing
there.
did you see that changed you the most? Start with Jordan.
The Bible.
Yeah. What was the thing you saw that changed you the most?
Yeah, so we were going through this ice cave, and it like seemed like a kind of touristy thing, like groups of 25. And then we went through, it was like cool, saw the ice cave. 2 days later, the same ice cave actually collapsed on someone and like injured a lady and killed her partner,
Holy shit.
which was like really sad.
That's
Um,
insane.
But the fact that like, I guess like I just had absolutely zero worries, and then I don't know, it made me think like, obviously that person thought the same thing.
Yeah,
Like,
yeah.
2 days difference. Yeah.
Yeah, like it's the same thing I suppose with like car accidents, how you always see it like happening to other people.
Yeah.
But it just like made me think like, damn, like I thought this was completely fine, and it's like shit can just like change.
Bit of mortality
very,
stuff.
Yeah.
Your
quickly.
life is fragile type thoughts.
Yeah, and
Yeah.
and then there was a whole thing of like they shouldn't have even been doing ice cave tours during the summer.
Makes
It's like
sense.
the tour
Yeah.
guide was like, "Oh yeah, this cave, like as a bit of a fact, he was like, this whole thing will be gone in like a few weeks, because it's like it's all melting at the
Cool.
moment." And then it's like,
Oh wow!
Um,
So they set it up and then put figure out where to go, and then it melts.
Yeah,
and then it's done.
yeah,
Wow.
it's like different ice caves every year.
And they're,
but then
do
it's
it,
like,
they're being that bold where they're like, in a couple of weeks it'll be gone, but right now it's
Yeah.
all good.
and then
That's fucked.
It's kind of like, well, are they just hoping it collapses at night, or like how do they know when? It's,
Where do they stop?
yeah, so that was a whole
That's got to have been
kind
illegal.
of dodgy thing. but
Yeah.
just the fact that I felt unbelievably safe.
Yeah.
And then hearing that that's happened to some poor guy, it's
I guess you kind of like do that every
Really
day when you
sad.
get in your car and start playing music and singing along to just random
Yeah.
songs. You kind
Yeah,
of
we
do the
do
exact
just
same thing.
We got to block out our mortality in order to just get along with day to day
Otherwise,
life,
you'd just
right?
be like too scared to do
yeah.
anything.
Otherwise,
Yeah.
you'll just you can't think about that stuff. You can't afford to.
Yeah.
I'm lucky enough to have never had anything close to a near-death experience, and not like this was, but it just made me
Yeah.
appreciate.
Is that the closest you've been to death?
I guess
That you
No.
know of.
True.
Yeah, probably like jumping
Whoa.
into the shallow end of a pool wasn't great,
Oh, that's a good
Yeah,
one.
that was
That's a
probably-
good one.
and that also gave me the same sort of feeling. But that was more like, Zach, you're a fucking idiot. Let's not do that.
This one was just like, oh, you just exist and then you die.
Yeah,
I dived into a pool. That's the best thing ever. Isn't that a great sensation?
Diving into a pool.
Yeah.
It's pretty good.
That's the best.
I haven't
When's
done
the
it in a
la-
long
have you not
time.
dived into-
I don't think I've dived into a pool in 6 years or something.
I'll be longer.
I just get in.
You're talking to the cliff jumping guy. Like,
Yeah, that's kind of
preaching to
different.
the choir
That's
here.
no different a little
Diving
bit.
is-
But diving from the thing, like from the ledge, just the
Yeah, dude. When I sailed around Greece for 3
Yeah.
weeks.
Yeah.
And when you got to tie up the boat,
Yeah.
you back the boat up. You have the anchor in the front. You
Yeah.
back the boat up. Then you have to tie it on the back
Yeah.
on the rocks.
Yeah.
How do you get to the rocks? You grab a rope. You dive into the ocean. You swim to the shore.
That would
It was
feel pretty
sick.
cool.
I
It
might
was
be-
fucking awesome.
I might be 12 years from my last dive.
You're
What?
I might be a long time from my last
Because I
dive.
go swimming a lot, but the pool at the gym I'm at is shallow. Like it's not more
Yeah.
than a meter and a half or something. I'm not going to dive in.
Dude, diving in is the best part.
Did
Yeah.
you Peter, jump off dive off your boat? into the
full like Jack Sparrow mode, you know?
Yeah.
You
With the-
grab
with
the
the
rope,
rope?
to
Oh,
go
that's-
tie your boat up to a rock.
That's the most jealous I've been of your whole trip.
It's actually sick. Like,
Yeah.
there were 4 of us on the boat, and I was like, that's my fucking job.
Yeah.
And everyone else was like,
Wow.
oh, I don't want to get wet again.
Yeah.
Like, I was like, I'm doing that.
I really like human experiences like that.
Yeah.
It's like, oh, cool, I'm a human. I
Yeah.
do stuff like that.
I do things like the sailors did, you know?
Yeah, that's
It's-
cool.
It was cool.
Anyway, sorry, go on. What's
That's
your?
not the moment that changed me the most, but it is close.
It's got to be
It's
up
up there.
there.
Because I really
I
want to watch
can't wait
Pirates
to hear
of
what
the
yours
Caribbean.
is.
I don't know if it was one defining moment, but the thought that really carried me through the trip, there was finding out what people I truly get along with.
Right.
It's like a very big part of self-actualization for me, because when I was in Vancouver at the start, I posted a video on my personal channel, this like just the Peter Waghorn channel that I haven't really touched since. There was like, why don't you actually hang around with the people you actually like? Which is so obvious.
I've been saying this forever.
Oh, yeah,
It's
I know.
my
It's-
motto in life.
It's so obvious, but it's so true. And you got to mention in this video because I was like,
Oh, hell yeah.
Jackson said for New Year's resolution, he wants to have less friends.
Yeah.
And we all clowned on you for it because it was really funny.
Yeah.
And it's still really funny because it's a funny way of phrasing it.
Yeah.
But I understand the mentality behind it because when I was traveling and you're meeting people at hostels and you're getting hosted by some people, you're meeting people every day. You kind of do want to pick and choose because you're having a limited time frame with
Yeah.
limited money of who you spend your time with.
Yeah.
And yeah, it really gave me a lot of perspective into who I like and what traits in people I like.
Yeah.
What I consider cool.
Yeah.
What I can like, and it's not the same as cool.
Yeah.
You know, my cool is not your cool.
Yeah.
Which is not the same as anyone else's cool.
Yeah.
And getting my head around that was a very big game
What-
changer for me.
Did you find like there's a trait that you thought you liked and didn't, or anything like that, or not that specific?
really like emotionally intelligent people.
Right.
They really get me cooking.
Yeah.
And that's the people I had
Shit.
the best time with.
Yeah.
Because that's something that I really took a long time to come around to in my own life.
Uh-huh.
And so it's now something I'm just getting into.
Right.
And then when people have this like on lock, I'm like, what the fuck? Like,
Yeah.
please keep talking. Like, you know, cook. Please cook because
Yeah.
I'm fascinated.
Yeah. There you go. That's a good one.
That's cool.
I think I'm really emotionally unintelligent. So
Yeah,
that's
well.
no good.
And I hate you.
I think what's interesting about stuff like that is often like I have traits like that, but then someone is not like that, and I'm still get on with them fine.
Oh, you
So-
still can.
Yeah, so it's not like I don't think it's defining necessarily, but you do. I've got a pretty good sense of who I'm going to get along with within 5 seconds of talking to them.
Yeah.
I'm wrong sometimes, but rarely.
Yeah, I'm getting there.
Yeah.
With the same vibes. I still give people the benefit of the doubt, of course.
Yeah.
Dude, I don't think we, like, me and Maddie did as much, like, hostel stuff. Like, we stayed in a few hostels and, like, still met a lot of people. But, like, a lot of the people we met were going to the pubs and, like, watching the football. Because the Euros were on, and like
He says football now. He's changed.
He's
He's changed.
changed. That's
the biggest
You were the
difference.
biggest soccer sayer of all time, I reckon.
Yeah.
Most likely to say soccer on the pod.
Yeah,
Zack.
it's football.
Yeah, wow.
But we went to like Irish pubs to watch a lot of the football finals,
Football,
and then
nice.
we'd like always meet a group of people to like watch the game with, and you're kind of like locked in. And like some people we had a great time, some people you just know like they kind of suck,
Yeah.
but you're like, you know what, we're gonna sit here, we're gonna watch the game, we're gonna be amicable, but like, would I ever want to see you again? No.
I still think that's a really important trait, and one that I neglected for years, 2 years probably.
Being able to get on with anyone.
Just and also being around people you don't like.
Yeah,
it's
sucking it
really
up.
important
Yeah.
because like I think you can get just like some people are too addicted to being comfortable,
I probably don't have that skill at all,
This is
considering
crazy
I
to hear
don't
from
see
you.
anyone.
but you're also less fussy with people probably than I am.
But I don't really see anyone.
Yeah, that's probably
You know
true.
what I mean? So I haven't done much testing.
So
I mean,
learning how to
yeah.
just interact with people that you don't get along with, which is why having a normal job is good, which we all don't have.
Yeah.
because you will have to do that in a workplace. I mean, I suppose I do it
That's
at
true.
Woolworths, but not really.
I'm doing it right now.
Yeah, exactly.
I'm joking, of course.
Because the Euros were on when you were in.
yeah.
Yeah,
Yeah, I was in Germany when it was in Germany.
That's sick.
And I was in Germany for the opening match, and
Yeah.
we went with Pokemon Challenges.
Oh, you went to the
And
Euros?
no, we went
What
to
is
this,
this,
like,
sorry? Is this a big tournament?
Euros is the European soccer tournament. Like all the European countries enter.
It's like the
it.
World
Okay.
Cup, but just for
just
Europe.
for European.
Oh,
which is
okay.
also pretty much the best.
The
country.
World Cup's doing it.
Yeah,
Yeah.
almost.
All right, I'm
No,
back on board.
Argentina.
Yeah.
Or
Oh,
Brazil. So
So
that was
we-
yeah,
actually going
okay.
on at the same
That's big.
time. At the Americas one as well. Anyway. go
all
on.
right, yeah.
yeah, we didn't go, but we went to like a public viewing area. You know
Yeah,
what I mean? They have a
zones.
giant screen in like the town square,
Yeah.
and everyone goes and has beers and
Yeah.
go, yeah, we jumped up and down.
Yeah.
You know, That was fun. It's
Yeah.
a good
I
experience.
really like getting into sporting events for like the big times,
Yeah.
but like not following anyone all the time.
Yeah.
Like I got pretty into the Olympics as well.
Oh, I love the
we saw the
Olympics.
moment when the pole vaulter broke his own world record on his like last attempt. It was fucking hype.
Yeah.
Like me and Maddie, mostly me, we just like in the hotel room because like Maddie didn't get into the Olympics as much as me, but like it was such a fucking setup. Like he wanted to add like an extra 5 centimeters onto his like biggest pole vault of all time.
Yeah.
And he like missed the first 2 and he like had one more attempt and he's like the most tired and he's getting the crowd to like clap and hype him up and he like just barely gets it and you see like the
Damn.
celebration. It was fucking unreal.
That's cool.
And I watched Ray Gun live too. So
Did you actually?
yeah.
Wow.
I was like, oh, Maddie, the Australian girl's up next. And I was like, oh, Ray Gun, pretty cool. She comes out. Like the first girl goes, does some like normal
break
moves.
dancing.
Then she starts and I'm like, Maddie, I'm pretty sure this girl's on some fucking like crack. Like what is she doing?
Was
And
it
then,
actually like I remember when I watched it the first time, I was like, oh, I don't know, it's not that bad, is it? But then like everyone said it was awful.
It was like so different to like
right.
what
I
the other
also
people were doing.
hadn't watched the whole event, so I don't know.
But this is like before I had obviously seen any of the tweets and that like making fun of it. I was
Yeah.
like was watching
Oh
it
my
live and
God.
experiencing it, and like I had like high hopes, like let's go Australia, let's win, and they were just slowly going down as I'm like this surely cannot be like good.
Did they get 0 or something? Their score from the judges was like
So
nothing.
it's like the judges choose someone. They have to give a point to like one side or the other, and they gave every point to.
Yeah, she
the
did
other
not get a
girl.
single
Oh,
point.
it's like
sense.
it works like that,
It's
right?
battles or whatever.
Yeah.
I think.
Oh.
Okay.
It's like Quiplash.
My opinion on Ray Gun, I love the bit. I think it's a good bit. I think it's hilarious. I think it's great. And
I did, but she's not doing a bit, and she kind of sucks.
well, the point is,
Like I was on board with that exact opinion, and then it turns out she's not really like laughing at herself or finding it funny or like anything like that.
okay.
She should have pivoted.
My
Yeah.
personal reason for loving it is because why have you put breakdancing in the Olympics?
I think it has merit. I feel like the problem is like
No, but that's like putting painting in the Olympics. It's art.
I think it's different. Like so
Is
like
dance not art?
like diving and gymnastics.
And gymnastics
is
and
artistic.
ribbon,
I think
blah, blah, blah.
that they've been made in the system so long that they have a very clear scoring system. You know what you're going for. Where this is like, I like this better. I like this better. Point to you. Point
Yeah,
to you.
but I feel like
so
you have to
if
let a thing develop.
Yeah,
Yeah.
but I feel like it's not like it's not coming back in the next Olympics.
Yeah.
it was just like their wild card edition.
Yeah.
and I think that Ray Gun really showed that it shouldn't come back
Well, I feel like that's disheartening.
because she got put in. No, but like they should have their own competitions. It's not the Olympics, which
Yeah.
they do, which
Yeah.
are better.
Yeah.
where Ray Gun isn't in it.
Yeah.
You know, like,
Yeah.
It's showing that like, oh, we have this system where we get the best person from each country, and they're like, who decides that?
Yeah.
How did she get here? That's why I love the bit, because it's pointing out how ridiculous this system
No,
is.
because
Yeah.
didn't she get in because she knew someone in the committee?
I think she was the comedian.
I think her,
that's so
her
fucked.
husband's the coach or
Yeah,
something.
I think it's a bad play from her.
Look,
No,
I
me.
I love the whole thing around it because it just points out how ridiculous the system is.
Right. Yeah.
I do rate her being different. I think it's just kind of sad when her actual like skill, like she couldn't do some of the good moves, so she was just doing her own stuff. And I think we have people in Australia that probably could have done a lot better.
Oh,
The-
yeah.
But she got in.
Yeah,
kinda-
my issue is
Oh,
with
yeah.
it. How did she get in?
I-
Like, that's stupid. That's the stupid part. I don't know if like breakdancing as a whole in the Olympics is stupid. Like, surely so many things could be stupid and like built up and slowly get better. But I agree. Like, how did she get there? That's so dumb.
I was going to say something, but I can't remember.
Yeah,
Doesn't matter.
it's because of the subjective nature of the judging. So
Yeah.
clearly it was a flawed system.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Oh, I was going to say, there was such an opportunity. I feel like Australians would love to be like, oh, breakdancing, what a hoax, what a silly thing. But she completely botched that opportunity. Australians love to get around a larrikin.
Yeah.
And she did
Yeah.
not act like that.
Yeah.
That's true.
If she backed it up, if she did like that and was just like, yeah, fuck yeah, it was sick.
Yeah.
Awesome.
She kind
No,
of,
just
she
some
sort
fucking
of
crazy
did, but she
moves.
was like, oh, anyone that doesn't get it, like, doesn't understand.
Yeah.
Or something. I was kind of just like, not the
Well, she
Australian
has
thing.
a PhD in breakdancing.
That respect.
Whoa.
Like-
Maybe she knows more than us then.
Well, clearly.
Yeah. So
I don't
we're,
have a PhD.
we're actually uneducated to talk
So
about
that's why I love. So like, it points out how stupid academia is.
Yeah, sure.
That's what I love the bit. I honestly, I've deep dove to this one.
Right.
Like,
Respect.
I was in France while the Olympics were happening. I was watching this on the TV, and I was just like, What the fuck is this?
Oh, you saw the event live as well?
No.
Oh, right.
It was all that was on my feed. Like,
Right.
It was like Olympics. So
Like
that was-
every cafe in France had like a little TV for the
Yeah.
Olympics.
Makes sense.
Because everyone that was there was going for that.
Yeah.
So it was really on everyone's mind.
Live sport. I went to the AFL Grand Final.
Nice.
That rocked.
That's
Yeah.
so sick.
And your team won, didn't they?
My team won. The Brizzy
Let's
Lions.
go.
Katy Perry performed.
Nice.
It kind of slapped.
Yeah, Katy
hard.
Perry's sick.
I
What'd she
think
do?
Her music in
Eating
isolation's
beans?
not great. She didn't do eating beans, which is an
Sorry,
inside
that's
joke.
really
What's
inside
that?
joke. So this one
So,
time,
can I tell this story?
sure.
We're supposed to be packing up the car in the morning.
This is
and
when you were traveling
We're
Australia.
traveling and we're about to hand back the RV. Zach gets so distracted, I don't know on purpose or what.
I feel like you're not providing context, but
We were doing parodies throughout the trip. And then Zach decides to record himself doing eating beans parody, which is... Go on.
no, I didn't decide to record myself. I was just filming.
Cameron turned himself on.
I didn't design my
was-
brain. I wasn't in
I
control.
was just doing my parody and someone started filming it. It was so
I'm
good.
just a vessel.
I was filming B-roll,
Yeah.
okay, B-roll footage where you cut out the audio,
Yeah.
and I was just having a laugh in the meantime, not putting two and two together.
Keeping
but it
in
was
mind-
it was caught on camera.
You're packing up.
We're supposed to be packing up the RV to hand back in 20 minutes.
Anyway.
So that didn't really get done. And then Zach came up with eating beans. Anyway, it's a Katy Perry cover of I can't even remember which song. Firework. Where you replaced firework
When-
with eating beans.
How?
Well, we were going a bit.
that work?
We went insane.
We were going a bit
probably.
insane. Like we would just keep singing song parodies that were like the worst shit you've ever heard.
Yeah.
One that you did was
This will be good.
it was like Uptown Funk, and you were like, "Girl said, do you have a Guinness?" Yes. Or like, you're like,
There's a lot of Guinness parodies.
Uptown Guinness, go and give it to me, or
Yeah,
something
yeah.
like
Any
that.
song just replaced
Yeah.
things.
Okay, I
Guinness.
see. So these weren't good.
No.
Yeah. And I
But
was
then
like,
it all became the epitome of the whole thing was the
How
eating
bad
beans
could it-
cover
Yeah.
when we're supposed to be packing
it was
up.
like, and I was like singing firework, and I got to the chorus, and I just like replaced the word firework. I was like, "Baby, you're eating beans."
Yeah.
Baby, you're
Pretty catchy.
eating beans.
Yeah.
Keep
Yeah.
going.
Did she sing that
And
at
then it's like, eat
the
them
grand
all
final?
Oh,
up.
that was the-
I think I just
Oh,
make
eat
it up
them all.
every
Yeah,
time.
Anyway, no, she didn't sing eating beans. In summary.
Sorry, I really derailed.
But it was good. She was good. The game was fun. It's really fun to go to a stadium that packed and everyone was cheering.
Everyone's on the vibes.
Everyone's
Yeah.
wild,
It's
and your
like
team's winning.
90 something thousand.
Do they
so-
put the people like with the other teammates? How does that work? 'Cause that's
Huh?
what it seems like when
Do
you're
people
watching.
sort themselves into sections?
Oh,
Like, do you have to
somewhat.
say like I go for Hawthorn?
No,
They
so
put you somewhere.
Sections get sold to members of the clubs. So then, like, you'll
Oh,
go
that's
a
how.
Brisbane section, a Sydney section, Brisbane, Sydney, etc. And then I don't know, that's like 40% of the stadium, and then the rest of it's just like
Yeah,
other
because when
people.
you watch on a TV, it's like there's just a massive section of one team and then another
Yeah.
massive section of
Yeah.
another.
And I was kind of in a Sydney section cheering for Brisbane, which I was doing a lot
Did you
of.
get glassed or something? Or?
My girlfriend was worried about my safety at certain points.
Oh, were you like barracking too hard?
I was doing a lot of
Because your team was like Hawthorn won big time. Oh, Brisbane,
Brisbane.
sorry.
Brisbane
Brisbane won big time.
smacked them.
When they're like
Absolutely smacked them.
steamrolling
yeah,
them,
they're
and
like,
then you're like,
And then like they lose a free kick would be given against them. I'm like, are you serious? I'm fine.
Up 50 points.
yeah, when the game's like over. But anyway, it was fun.
That's sick.
That's awesome.
Live sport's good, and
Sorry.
I'd recommend it.
You reminded me when you were talking about like the vibes of the stadium.
Yeah,
That's the biggest thing I learned while I was away is that the only thing that's ever important is the vibe.
right.
That nothing else matters.
What a lesson.
Wow.
Rules do not exist if the vibe is good.
I've always thought that about things.
That's what I think about people. Like when you meet someone, you're like, oh, that person was nice. You'd have no idea what they said. You
Yeah.
can't remember. It's just like, oh, they were a good vibe.
Yeah,
Vibe. It's like you go to a cafe. The food can be kind of average or whatever, but hey,
Good
I had a good
vibes.
time. The vibe was
Good
good.
vibes.
The
Banter
decor,
was
the
great,
lighting,
etc.
Everything adds to the vibe. If the vibe is good, nothing else matters.
Yeah.
Did you figure out that like the service is so much better everywhere except Australia?
Nah.
Oh, I feel that.
I like Australian service personally. I don't like over the top service. Like, leave me the fuck alone.
Like
Oh,
hands
that's
off
like the
service.
American thing because they want tips.
Tips.
Like,
yeah, and also like in like Philippines, people calling me like sir and shit. I'm like, hey, I'm just a guy.
Yeah.
Like, relax,
Bro, you and I are the same. Bro.
Yeah,
Bring it in.
seriously.
Yeah.
Seriously, that's really more my style.
Yeah.
So maybe I'm just too indoctrinated as the Australian way of doing it, but I don't like over the top service. I don't like a big deal being made about me. So it's just like,
I don't like when they come over and they're trying to be funny. I'm like, That's my job.
No, literally, here's my channel.
Yeah.
Your girlfriend starts laughing. You're like, hey.
Get the hell out of here, would you?
What's your funny comments to the waiter?
What do you mean?
Got any examples?
No.
If you're the funny one?
Oh, no, not to the waiter.
Oh,
I just mean
like
at
I
the
thought you
table.
were ordering things.
We don't
in
need
You're the funny
ways.
guy.
We don't
Zach.
need external entertainment.
I'm the coffee shop banter guy.
Oh, sorry.
Yeah.
What
You
the
got
fuck is
confused.
this?
That's
Come on.
He's good with the people in the cafe.
I recently went down south for someone's like Bucks weekend before they got married.
Right.
I had banter with the sommelier. How do you say that? The wine person.
Sommeliers.
No idea.
Sommelier.
You're gonna say the
Smelliest person. So did I.
The wine
Somalia.
person.
The
Yeah.
Somalian.
The Somalian. Yep. The
No,
Somalian.
That's like place.
Sommelier.
What? I thought it was.
Somalia is a
like
place.
It's a country.
Oh shit.
Anyway, I had such good banter with it that the guys at my table were like, "What the hell was that?"
Nice.
Wow.
Little brag.
Wow.
I'm not going to repeat it because you guys made fun of me last time I repeated my banter.
No, but it was
but
such a good bit.
But
Yeah,
can
no.
we end this podcast with the banter?
no.
If I ask nicely.
No.
Let me ask. You haven't heard me ask nicely.
What?
Please.
Peter, I would really,
No.
really... Okay.
Well, are we ending it?
Who
can go
don't
for
do
a
We've
it.
been
bit
yapping
more.
for ages.
We've been going
we
for a
probably
while.
should.
Should we talk about what the plan is?
Yeah, actually, that's a good point.
yeah, good
This
point.
podcast
Wait.
is over.
Like this one, or
This one's over.
No, but like this episode.
Not
or
yet. We've got 2 minutes left explaining what we're doing now.
The what is over?
This podcast as a whole series.
The Underdogs
Oh.
podcast as you know it.
Will
It's-
change forever.
It's in the bin.
Wait, Jordan, keep going on that. I liked that.
It's all gonna change. It's just changing because we're sick of just talking about ourselves. We've talked about ourselves for a long time, so it's changing forever.
So what are we talking about?
Eggs.
Okay, it's called
Spoiler.
A Bit About.
Yeah, so we're
His
starting.
name's still
Okay,
floating
I-
around, whether it's a bit about or a little bit about.
It's a bit about.
Vote in the chat.
Shut up, Zach. We we're still making a podcast with the four
Yeah.
of us. It's gonna be the same shit, but
But,
we're
But.
starting it's like season 2.
yeah.
Themed episodes.
Well,
is the big takeaway.
People will remember that we actually started calling after Peter left season 2. So this is, I guess, season 3.
Oh, okay, season 3.
Or it's just a new show, I don't know. But yeah, season 3 / season 4 if better's a new season.
Nah, that's a side plot.
Okay. Well, this is kind of a new
Filler.
song. Yes.
It's like a spin-off.
It's called A Bit About, and we're going to do one topic a week. You can join the Patreon to vote on the topic. We've already picked the first one. It's eggs.
Great.
So each person's going to bring a bit about eggs, and
We'll
we're
see
going to
how
learn a
this
bit
goes.
about eggs.
The real
Yeah.
fans will remember in the first few weeks of a podcast ever, we used to all bring one segment.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So it'd be like a little game, a little let's talk about this.
Yeah.
Jackson hosted Who Can Sing the Best, just stuff like this.
Yeah.
We're going to go back to that formula,
Yeah.
except it's going to be extremely loosely connected with
An overarching.
an overarching theme. How much it sticks to this theme is up to us.
And we probably still will talk about ourselves if something cool happens, you know?
It's still the same
You just
thing.
have to relate it to the topic.
It's just there will be 4 segments about eggs next week.
yeah.
Eggments.
And after that,
Eggs.
you can vote on the second one. And we have a few options lined up.
Yeah.
What are the options?
For the next week.
Yeah, do we have that set?
Yeah, I
'Cause
do.
we
Hold
can
on. I
Build
should
up a
put
little
that
bit
up
of
on-
hype for some potential topics
So
coming up.
if you join our Patreon, you can vote on this.
I heard cement's on the cards.
Cement's not on the
Cement's
early
not-
That's
cards.
maybe
the
after
cards.
we've done at least 50 episodes.
The first poll. Okay. Join the Patreon and you can vote on what our second topic will be. So eggs is locked in. We're not going anywhere there.
Yeah, eggs is
we
just
all agree on
Very
that.
nice.
Great.
Organs,
Organs.
rats, dance, and orange. That's our 4 topics.
If you're an audience member, we'll see how this all goes. I feel
What?
like if I'm hearing this for the first time, they might be disappointed.
No, you have to let us cook.
I feel like this is going to be we're going to cook. We got to cook.
we're going to cook.
You don't need it. Nobody's attacking you, Jordan. You don't need to defend yourself.
Well, Holly did when I mentioned it to her.
Yeah,
at
well,
home.
block out the haters.
I was like, Holly, it's a hard sell. I understand
Is
now
Holly a
because I
regular
talked about it. Because Holly always listens to the podcast, and we had a bit of a ego chamber about this. Yeah.
Oh, the brain's got all scrambled.
And then, we're a bit scrambled. And then I get home to Holly. I'm like, babe, we got a new direction for the podcast. We're going to talk about a different topic each week. She's like, what? I'm like, next week's eggs. She's like,
Okay, no, that's not how you bring it up.
yeah, I said it. That's how I said it, and it sounded
Yeah.
bad.
This goes back to Peter's point about the vibe. Our vibe when we were talking about eggs, we were laughing.
It'll
a
be a
lot.
good vibe.
You
It's
go
all
into
about the vibe
a
next
new
week.
sterile environment and try and pitch that we talk about eggs for an hour. It's a tough sell, but we're gonna get it done.
We're gonna get the good vibes.
Noah in the Patreon chat asks, organs like the instrument or the things in your body? Yes.
Exactly.
It's up to
Us.
Yes.
Noah.
Organs like that or that? Yes.
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 It has to be loosely connected to the topic.
You'll understand once we do eggs next
You
week.
just gotta, you'll get the vibes. The vibes will be good. The vibes are the only thing that matters.
Could talk about organization.
Ooh,
That's good.
good.
What if organization was where you became an organ?
Let's do our favourite
kind of
moment of the podcast before we wind this one up.
Our favorite what?
Off the top of your head,
Our favourite letter.
Entire Underdogs podcast, what stands out to you as your favourite memory? I'll start. Zack's quote.
Zach's quote.
What is art?
Zach's quote.
Honourable mention to Jordan's cancer.
That's what I was going to say.
That was a good
bringing
moment.
Up that
That
he
was
got
the best
cancer,
moment.
and then the Vine boom
Yeah.
sound effect is.
That's also what I was thinking as well. Now I need to think of a different one.
Sorry, I shouldn't have used two up. But anyway,
That was
you
huge.
You've watched a lot of them back,
I
haven't you?
have,
So you've.
as an editor.
I think mine might be dating Jackson.
Yeah, what,
Very
episode
early on.
2?
Very
Classic.
early on. I thought that was so funny. And I won't do 2 actually.
Ah,
Sorry, I shouldn't have chewed up 2.
I don't know. Let's just go through a
Minion
few
game.
each because there's a lot that stand out.
Minion game?
One that's-
Minion game.
Minion game stands out for a
One
lot of
that is
people.
sticking in my head, incredibly oddly specific. Jordan putting enchiladas as his favorite cuisine in the Underdogs Valentine's Day quiz. Because enchiladas is not a cuisine.
And that's not even how you pronounce it. Oh,
How do you say it?
I don't even want
Because
to
you
try.
went to Mexico, did you? No, you didn't.
Why are you saying like on?
I don't know.
Where's that?
I said it.
Enchiladas. No, but I say it like that.
Up from
Enchiladas.
Jordan.
I feel like that's how it's said here, enchiladas.
Enchiladas. Get an Australian. What's it called? What you try to learn a language and it says something. They're probably not going to have enchiladas
Oh
there.
my god, Blimby Man is actually
Blimby.
my number one.
Wow, that's a really good one.
Damn, I've got a really bad memory. I'm
Okay, here's
realizing.
some good ones. Leaking Poppet's phone number, brilliant.
That
Sophie's
was-
I've been
choice.
seeing people do this.
I see people do
this is good.
Oh, mine might be a yippee.
Is that a pod thing?
I think it kind of started
I
on the
thought it was on
pod.
the gaming.
Oh, maybe it did.
Um,
Yippee.
Cashier banter is a good one, Peter. I know you love that one. Wow, what a lot of good memories. We did 100 and something episodes. You'd hope there was some good moments.
Yeah, and over 100
heaps.
hours of yapping, you'd
Yeah.
hope that there would be at least 1 or 2 funny things.
I remember doing a Winnie the Pooh voice for Caesar.
I remember that as
felt
well.
like
that a
Improv
Patreon exclusive?
game.
I remember how good that was,
I don't
and it was
remember.
very good.
Well, thanks so much for being an Underdog podcast person. We appreciate your support. We hope you'll enjoy this new era a little bit about or a bit about.
I mean,
See how
it's
it
going to
goes.
be
A bit about.
pretty similar. It's still the 4 of us. We're still the underdogs.
We just wanted a
it's
direction.
still a podcast.
Yeah, we just don't want to rock up and be like, so what you get up to on the
Yeah.
weekend?
What are you looking at, Peter? We got
I-
Everyone quiet, please.
Oh.
Okay, here's the ending of the podcast. Thank you.
Enchiladas.